and time for a new world champion. My name is Neo, by my side Remo. We are back to Warcraft. We are your casters for this glorious event, the hottest of the summer.
It's been half a year. We have had some tournaments in between, but this is the big one. This is the one for the Frozen Throne that we're seeing right here, and for the World Championship. Our reigning champion is Moon. He is among the 16 players who will be competing here once again, but it's going to be a tougher road this time.
Indeed, man. TH is on fire. He wants to reclaim his championship of 2018. He was the back-to-back champion there, but Moon just ripped it out of his hands. But of course, the 3-axe. Have we seen a stronger 3-axe in the past couple of years? I don't think so. He's definitely challenger number one, but there's, of course, as it always is at WGL, a challenger from Europe. For the past 3 years, it was Foggy. He's at home. Greetings, pal. This time, it's the Emperor.
And this is such an exciting storyline. We have had Happy in Europe dominating everything that is an online competition there for years, but he refused to come to offline tournaments. Didn't deem it worthy enough, or whatever reason he may have had. Anyways, he didn't go, but now he's here for the first time. And all the backseat gamers out there will finally have their validation, or won't, depending on how he will be able to do here at WGL. He's going to be in Group D. It's going to be a story for tomorrow. Today we have 4 games out of Groups A and B. That means we're going to be seeing Infi, OC, Lawlight, 120, Focus, Cash, TH, and Colorful.
Indeed, of course, on this very channel you will see every single game of the Warcraft 3 World Championships. Here you see the Frozen Throne and maybe the last World Championship with the Frozen Throne with Reforged on the horizon.
Exactly. If all holds true, if 2019 brings Reforged, we're gonna have that soon, changing so many things in our scene. Here we have our first player of today, Infi, against OC. That's our opening match, of course. Like it was, I guess, last WGL, where it was Asia versus the foreigners. Now it's China versus America. And we have to be honest here, on paper this looks like quite the mismatch, but OC, at least he can play without pressure on his shoulders.
Absolutely. The first North American to ever attend WGL Grand Finals. This is one of the best Night Elf players from the entire continent. This is OC. Oh yeah. Confident indeed, representing the dust, wipes it off his shoulders. He is known for one-dimensional strategies on paper, but maybe he can spice it up here. He really seems to enjoy the limelight of professional Warcraft 3 here on stage. Neutron last time, half a year ago, he was crumbling under the lights, under the pressure, forgetting about rally points and stuff.
Yeah, true.
Maybe we'll see. Yeah, I hope this will not happen to him. This was the stage. Here is our beautiful studio back to Warcraft alongside ESPN in Shanghai. Feels good to be back.
Yeah, it's a little more white than this. Did you guys notice? Last time we had a bit of a different color palette, but yeah, it is our beautiful studio here once again. Reserved for us, for our English stream, to bring you these next 10 days with 1 day of break of our World Championship. We're going to have Group Stage 1, Group Stage 2, followed by the playoffs here to determine who is going to be our next World Champion. Is it going to be Moon again? Is it going to be TH? Or might it be someone else?
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. We have a little bit of a change in the system for WGL this time. Last time the group stage was all round robin with 6 players in each group. Now we go back to where we all started. GSL group stage, 4 players of each group. It's double elimination and the top 2 advance to the round of 8.
As far as schedule goes, also we're going to have it mixed up a little bit. We're not going to have groups all played out in a single day, but we're going to be splitting them up. We're going to have the first round of the upper bracket today for Group A and B. That means the groups are split throughout several days, or 2 days rather, or 3 days, I guess. So that's an interesting change, right? We have this means that even if a player drops out, or if he doesn't drop out, if he makes it through, he's going to be having a chance to play on more days, and there's also a lot more preparation time that you can get in.
Indeed. Here we have our schedule for the beautiful WGL. Today, Group A and B, the winner bracket semi-finals. Tomorrow, the same schedule for Group C and D, where we will see Moon, Lin, and Happy. On Monday, we have the upper bracket finals to determine the first 4 players for the playoffs, and on Tuesday, we say goodbye to the first 4 players, as it is the lower bracket semi-finals before we complete the round of 8 with the lower bracket finals on Wednesday. Afterwards, a day off, and then the weekend is finals time, baby. Top 8 Group A on Friday, Top 8 Group B on Saturday, and the grand final finally on a Sunday again.
Along with the semifinals, so we're going to have a nice, long Sunday there as well. And looking at this changed format, this really should reward players who prepare heavily, who do deep research on their opponents, who line up their builds perfectly. And thinking of that, doesn't one name stand out, spring to our minds that we won't have here? Foggy.
Yeah,
Foggy. It seems like this would have been his format, but that's another big storyline.
At least until the Final Four, because you have to play the semifinal and the grand final at the same time. But yeah, hero groups, Infi versus OC, and the second match is so much hype for the first day.
Yeah.
It's the newbie internal battle of Lawliot versus 1-2-0. Korea versus China. Night Elf versus Undead. It's going to be good. Later, we have the first European representative with Cash playing against Focus, and then the former world champion TH against Colorful. Racial distribution here at WGL is fairly fair, I'd say. Very evenly distributed. The Night Elves have a little edge, as they always have with 6 representatives. The Undead only 1-2-0 and happy, but the Undeads are bringing their big guns.
Absolutely. By far the 2 best Undeads in the world. And there's always this discussion going on. How good is Happy really? Is he good as 1-2-0 offline in the World Championship against the best players? Yes, he has 99% win rate on Battle.net. But even I have about 70% there, so that doesn't mean too much. But how is he going to play here now offline? This is one of the biggest stories here from Europe. So many surprises this time around. Happy playing, Foggy not participating, and Cash actually got here off-racing. That's going to be another story for later on. But yeah, we're going to be beginning with China versus America. OC, how strong are the Huntresses against one of China's greatest?
Yeah, and did Infi prepare for him? He already a couple of years ago was playing an American Night Elf named Long Walk, and he lost that match. Got his revenge though at WCA 2016, but Infi is beatable. Is he beatable today? Can OC's Mass Huntress AP pushes bring him the victory? Infi is one of the favorites actually, along the top 6, of course. 1 WGL/GCS win, 1 silver medal in the grand final that he lost against 1-2-0. 3rd place in the entire qualifier. Very good track record. He won 2 of the monthly qualifiers in February and in March. Reached the top 8 once more, and in the May qualifier was a clown fiesta, I'd say. So that doesn't count too much. Pretty strong against Orc, unbeaten against Undead, and super solid versus Night Elf as well. First question, as it always is with Infi, what race is he going to play? Of course, he's known as a human, could play Night Elf, could play Orc, maybe if he's trolling around even Undead, but the Dust Gaming player, this is OC from the Americas. 2nd place there, with only 1 loss in the winner bracket, and then a run throughout the entire lower bracket. He had pressure in every single best of 3 of those American qualifiers, and he withstand that.
Yeah, that was actually insane. Dropping 0-2 in the first round, and then without dropping 1 single map, just stomping through the lower bracket. But that was American players. Now he's facing the Chinese players, the Koreans, the best in the world. We're going to be playing a best of 3 here, of course, and the 3 remaining maps, Concealed, LR, and Northern Isles, basically standard in this matchup. And speaking of matchups, as you were pointing towards, TH and Infi in 1.30 were switching races a lot, but 1.31 now has seen the Night Elves taking quite a few more balance hits. So Night Elf doesn't seem to be as strong as they were before anymore. And here we see he is sticking with human, no surprise here. And I don't think it's going to change in this tournament.
Me neither. Maybe against Lin, I could see that, but I mean, human is so strong against Orc as well, so there's no valid reason for Infi. Maybe if he wants to be harder to prepare for, then he's mixing it in to, you know, throw a curveball for his opponents. But the Human Alliance is back where they were a couple of years ago. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is game number 1 of WGL Summer 2019, Infi versus OC.
If he can make it, what an upset this would be. Imagine OC winning this. Would be that would be the biggest upset of this tournament of the last 2 seasons, honestly, of WGL. OC is going to try his best here. He said to me previously he wouldn't be he would basically be satisfied taking a map here. He knows he's in a super tough group. I mean, just read out these names. Infi, Lolite, and 120 is like some of the strongest players in OC, having, well, the unfortunate draw, I suppose, having to play in this group.
This is one of the hardest groups. I mean, Group D is very hard as well with Happy, Live, Sock, and Lin, of course. But as a debutant here at the World Champs, getting into this group with juggernauts like this, with former world champions. I mean, Infi, how many trophies does he have gathered in the past couple of years? 13 Tier 1 titles, WCG, WCA, WEM, GCS 2015, and many, 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 many more. He's a legend of this game. Actually, the third best earning Warcraft player of all time, right behind Moon and right behind Lin, the best Chinese player ever. And now OC. He hasn't won a single dime, according to Liquipedia, of Warcraft 3 tournaments, or off of Warcraft 3 tournaments. Well, maybe he can surprise here. Maybe it's the X Factor. What's his hero? It's the Keeper of the Grove. It feels like WGL Winter again.
And the OC special. If you guys aren't too familiar with OC, this might look weird right now. Like, where's the Ancient of War? How's he gonna creep? You want to get level 3 Keeper, right? You want to go Archers, you're going to go Alchemist, perhaps some Mountain Giants with an expansion later on. No. The answer is no. When OC is playing, there's going to be no Ancient of War creep, basically ever. It's going to be a Huntress opening and harass, and push in a Keeper with Entangle first, harassing from the very get-go. So yeah, OC is pretty predictable. Usually there's only one way that he's playing, but the thing is, kind of only he plays like that, so perhaps this can catch Infi off guard.
We'll see. In the WGL qualifiers this year, he has only lost to one single Night Elf in every single qualifiers, and that was Moon. Twice? Okay, but I mean, come on. It's Moon. So he should know what's coming. He should be prepared for basically everything. And Infi, he kind of flies under the radar this year, but his year is really, really good. He won the WGL Grand Finals. He was in the final of the Yule Cup. He was in the final of next spring. This gets him to the top 4 of highest earning players in 2019, and I absolutely consider him a favorite in this entire tournament. So we'll see. The Keeper of the Grove harass begins with Entangle first. We have a beautiful new overlay, by the way. They had the levels last year. This time they have the inventory as well.
So what's OC gonna play here? Obviously Huntresses, but what along with that? There are sometimes expansions that OC plays, I think preferably against Orc, if I'm not mistaken. But it's also the thing about OC. Yes, he played the qualifier. Yes, we saw him there. But most of the time, he's playing ladder. And we don't really know why we're on camera right now.
Oh, we're getting back, I guess. Here we see the audience. It's day number 1, so there are quite a few people here already. I hope this, of course, will intensify later. If you're not too familiar with the new patch, there's no Tomes of Experience anymore at all. So this little crab spot is not too important, but Infi trying to get up to level 3, of course, to defend the Huntress is a lot more easy with the Water Elementals, trying to get every single point of experience that he can get. Builds a tower, builds more towers like a lumber mill for guard towers. He seems to be like 100% prepared of what's coming.
And not panicking about this bit of pressure into the main at all. Almost saving the footy, not quite. AM out on the map, not defending, but creeping. And this is important. Yes, he's losing some footies in the main. Yes, he's perhaps losing a tower and peasants. But level 3 AM, that's what it's all about. Level 2 Water Elementals makes dealing with Huntresses so much easier. Be it in a push scenario, where you're getting pressured, or if there's an expansion coming up for the opponent on the other side. Level 2 Water Elementals are a game changer, and now he has them on a map concealed, where it's usually hard to get level 3 AM, but Infi not struggling, reaching that level in the slightest.
And OC only now teching, so Infi has an entire tech advantage and also 2 levels ahead. This is fairly normal for OC's playstyle though. Keeper for harass, trying to get a little lead in the economy, and Infi is very short on lumber, as you can see in the upper left. Only 200. Finishing his tech, of course, he can go for 1 Sanctum and a second hero, but not too much at the same time to like explode into 50 immediately. But Infi using these heal fountains to the fullest, healing the entire army back up. And that's so important as the Thunderclap will do great against them alongside the Water Elementals.
Yeah, here comes the MK now. And interesting that there's not a blacksmith yet, right?
Yeah.
He's saving all of his lumber for the Sanctum right away. So to have the priest healing as quickly as possible. Here comes the Sanctum now. And still no blacksmith. I mean, you do want to go rifles. So perhaps we underestimated the economic harass a little bit. A lot of peasants died. A lot of militia time was forced. So yeah, it's going to be rifles if they do come much later. And it is an expansion now for OC.
This surprised me. I thought he would be AP pushing all the way, but maybe on a bigger map like Concealed, he's not doing that. Using 100 nicely as a sentry ward, so he sees his opponent coming, knows exactly where he is. He is struggling with levels though. He needs to creep, and he's just aggressive and trying to creep jack him now. Oh, but no A-click, trying to get out of there. One Huntress will die, but that could have been two.
Yeah, way too much damage here to contest this. Double Water Elemental providing the DPS and quite a substantial footman frontline, as Infi and TH both like to have them in high numbers. I think it was like 7 footies right there. There's no way you can win a fight against these two heroes right now with the Huntresses. So what can OC do? Creeping, I guess, but he doesn't have Treants. He doesn't have Ancients of War out on the map. This is a very awkward position for the American.
But he buys time for the expansion to come up. The illusion, I'm pretty sure, scouted it, so Infi will be aware and he will have good damage against that one with the footmans that he kept alive. Priests are coming, finally the blacksmith, but Infi is doing this so nicely. Stormbolt around, he should have enough damage. I'm not too sure if he has a staff yet. No, tier 2 is not finished, but with the Untangle against the Mountain King, he saves this Huntress. So OC is not playing bad by any means.
At the end of the day, though, it is a Huntress opening, and he didn't get a big advantage, which usually you are supposed to get. Yes, he killed some peasants. Yes, he forced some militia. The blacksmith was late. The lumber was an issue. But Infi's still sitting with a strong army. 45 supply for him. Level 3 AM. MK leveling up more and more as well. And now he's coming in for the creep jack. But this is 4 Huntresses only. This is not going to happen.
Good micro on the first one here. We see 7 footmen, and the first rifleman just arrived. The Ancient of, or the Tree of Life is ready, as well as the first Glaive Throwers coming in. And the Alchemist second. This is very, I kind of want to call it old school Night Elf. This is 1.30-ish Night Elf play with Acid Bomb. Everything about the Alchemist got a little weaker, so he's not that impactful as he once was. But Seaman, so relentless, not giving up on these creep jacks.
Wants to keep the rifle numbers here from rising to critical mass. He's going to take one out with the help of Entangle, but he's going to lose 1 Huntress for it. He's going to lose 2 Hunts for it if he gets the Mountain King, though. This might be a worthwhile trade, but there is the Invul, the Greater that was found earlier now being used to great effect. And the Glaives, man, yes, they do good damage, but you have to be so careful with their positioning. If they start getting attacked, they die like flies.
And I would love to see some Wisps here on OC's side. Stormbolt now going for the Keeper. Does he have time for the Town Portal? Ooh. Yes, last second. Just 17 HP remaining. The Mountain King is really low. Everything is really low. The area of effect of the Glaive Throwers did a good job, but OC lacking the multitasking a little, didn't move the tree over. Otherwise, he could have had a second gold mine running already.
Needed to creep it though as well, and now I guess that's going to be his task for this point in time. Level 2 on the Keeper finally. But dude, how long did this take? Normally an early level 3 Keeper, that is the power spike of the hero. Make use of level 2 Entangle before there's Dispel, or make use of the Treants for mass creeping. But yeah, OC, as we said earlier, he has a different style. He plays it aggro on level 1, and normally he gets a big advantage, but not in this game, and now he finds himself at a disadvantage. Yes, he has the tree, but that's the only thing that really is speaking any kind of in his favor.
I wonder when Infi is pushing into upkeep for this deadly 70 supply push. At the moment, he's taking things rather slowly, staying below 50, creeping up, gets one of the 3 big creep spots here, where Flute might be dropping.
Yeah, he could even just expand himself. Like Infi, there's so many ways he can play this. He's under no pressure at all. Yes, his expansion would be behind the Night Elf technically, but that doesn't really matter. He's got the stronger heroes, he's got the stronger army, he can even afford to fall behind in supply, and he's ahead in supply right now.
That's true. But OC is gathering more resources now. The investment of the expansion slowly but steady paying off. Both players with the heal scroll now, as you can see in our overlay, in the upper left and upper right. Sobi Mask for the Mountain King. A dream item for this little dwarf, especially against Huntress. His Thunderclap is so strong for years and years and years. Oh boy! The Mountain King was all about Stormbolts and Bashes. No, it's Clappy time now, and he has so much mana to work with.
Huntress is going into the main. This is a distraction attack. This is supposed to force some response and buy time for the expansion. OC still cannot fight. He's still far away from being able to fight.
The timing of Infi's push, man. He's 10 supply ahead. The expansion didn't get a single gold dime yet. And OC is forced back to defend at home.
Still no level 3. He's bringing Wisps out now for the Detonate. He's going to need them. He's going to need to drain all of the mana from Infi's side, and then perhaps he can fight. But guess what? There's a mana potion on the MK that we just saw, so it's going to be hard to drain 600 mana. Perfect position for a clap right here. Boom! There it goes. Everything slowed down. No damage. No real micro potential, and these hunts, oh my god, they're dying so quickly. Actually, Infi is falling back here, respecting this force of the opponent. I think he doesn't have a heal scroll yet, otherwise he might be playing this more aggressively. But these claps are dealing with the Hunters by themselves.
I like the Glaive Thrower's damage in the back though, but Infi is doing this so nice. You saw that 2 Engines of War were uprooted, might be able to help them to fight, and then slowly kiting away with the help of the slow of the clap, and now the Alchemist is in a bad position. Stormbolt, and down he goes alongside basically every single Huntress. Yes, the Keeper of the Grove finally reaching level 3, but Infi is looking so dominant. Super close to 5 on the Archmage. Level 3 Watermentals. Oh, Stormbolt on the Keeper of the Grove and claps him to death. And that is the first match of the tournament, and it's going to Infi.
Extremely convincingly. Honestly, we all expected him to win, but that looked very, very simple. That looked like level 3 AM, that's all I need. And then I got this game. OC, what was his game plan? Was the idea to force the AM back, force him to defend, keep him on level 2, and then AP push? Maybe it was, but it just didn't work.
Yeah, that's true. The harass was okay-ish, I guess. But on Concealed Hills, you have to walk so much to get into your opponent's base. And that is, compared to like the power creeping that Infi did, a lot of wasted time, and your Keeper falls behind, and then you can't use the Treants to the fullest effect. And then a Keeper of the Grove starts to fall off heavily, especially if you can't pressure as much as you want with the Huntress. And then the expansion play, I'm not too sure if that was the right thing to do against the macro monster Infi. I would have liked to see maybe a faster push, because the rifles were late. There was not really piercing damage missing because he had the Watermentals, level 2. But you know, it wasn't the perfect spot for Infi to be in the beginning of the tier 2 stage. But I mean, for OC, everything was kind of late. Macro was a little slipping. But for a first game on the big stage, that wasn't bad at all. No missed rallies, no units walking into the creeps, no real sign of nervousness so far from OC.
I guess I can agree with that, but he has to sharpen up his early game.
Yeah.
If you play this level 1 Keeper Harass with a Huntress build, which means no creeping for you, which means no level 2, you can't let the AM creep for free. You can't let him get to level 3. Especially on Concealed. It's not that hard to get level 3, but it's not that easy either. Yes, you're going to be too late to prevent level 2. That will be acquired, but level 2 to level 3 is a massive difference. So, Wisp positioning. Where was that, by the way?
Yeah.
He never saw the AM anywhere on the map. The AM went from... It was a super standard creep camp. It was the small into the smaller, into the into the crab, into the shop. Like, this is where you expect the human to be. It's not like it was any kind of evasion creeping. But, I don't know, I guess he was getting distracted by killing the peasants in the main, but you have to look at these hero levels. Yeah. You can't let the AM get to level 3 so easily.
Little more macro indeed would help OC a lot, but you can see, I think, that Infi knew exactly what was coming. There was no surprise. He watched a few replays of OC, most likely. Doesn't want to be surprised in this double elimination system that we have. So respecting his opponent at least a little, not off-racing. We have seen a clownier Infi before.
That's true. Last WGL we saw him in an Undead Mirror, actually, which for its own specific reasons, was actually quite spectacular. Shout out to Neutron. Ready for the second map now is Infi, and his suspicions, if he had any before, facing off against OC, have been confirmed. Now, this is what OC always does: keeper first. Oh, we see some
That's the
special preparation.
Yeah, the happy build of these chairs. The armrests seem to be a little too low, so we see this from OC now that they tape tissue boxes to it. Happy will most likely play the same on tomorrow.
Yeah, OC said that he's feeling not that comfortable, that actually at home he sits in a very high chair, and this is why we see these extensions on the armrests. But for the chair itself, it doesn't exactly work. Maybe he's sitting on pillows, I'm not quite sure. But this is also something for him specifically. It's his first offline tournament since 2010, I think he said. Some players are used to this tournament setting. They travel to a different tournament every 2 months or so, and then you don't feel so much like a fish out of water. But OC, who normally only plays from at home, this is all possibly feeling a little uncomfortable, and that can throw you off your game sometimes.
True. Infi, of course, he's playing everywhere, basically, like every single offline event there is. Infi is there as well, alongside TH, of course. Infi, one of the very few players that has been at every single WGL and almost every playoffs as well. He only slipped once in 8 tournaments. This is pretty crazy. Very solid. That's how we know him.
Just like his years so far, kind of. Always like in the top running, always really impressive. But he's not that flashy, and he doesn't get that many titles, so he stands in the shadow of TH at the moment.
So, this is OC's pick. This is one of the new maps. This is Northern Isles. Match points for the Iceman. And the first American to ever attend WGL has to step his game up to make Infi sweat a little.
This map is normally so great for Night Elf openings, as you get a free level 2 with the Ancient of War Creep right away, and a big item. Is OC actually gonna do an Ancient of War Creep? And oh my god, he is. It is not a Hunter's opening, it's actually an Ancient of War. And wait a minute. Is that a neutral hero build order? It is!
Okay. We've seen this in the qualifiers by OC, that he likes to throw in a Panda or even an Alchemist first, or maybe a Dark Ranger. He has a lot of, he has zero variety in his unit builds, but when it comes to first heroes, he, yeah, that's a little grab.
Yeah, you're right, actually.
For OC. Here we see Infi's WGL history. As I said, 7 participations, 6-time playoffs, 1 championship. That was the very first edition of WGL in 2015. A 2nd place as well in summer of 2017. And in recent history, 2 bronze medals. And of course, if you want to count that in, the Super WGL just this year in January, where he defeated TH in the finals 3-0. Quite a statement to start the year.
And looking ahead in the tournament, it might very well be possible that Infi and TH might meet again, as they did 2 seasons ago. And looking through recent history, recent results, TH, one of his biggest foes, his biggest fears in terms of opponents, might actually be Infi. Because it just so happens that TH seems to absolutely have Moon's number at the moment, beating him almost everywhere he faces him. That's going to be a story, I guess, for the next coming days as we move deeper in this tournament. TH, of course, being in Group B, which also we're going to be seeing later.
True that. The next game, by the way, is going to be 1-2-0 versus Law Light against the winner of this group. This match, then. This is going to be absolutely insane. So that will be the first real test of strength for Infi, then 1 day later. And it is the Panda and Brewmaster first. So, why do you pick this hero first as an item?
Goes kind of well with the Huntresses. More AoE damage to get rid of those footies and militia more effectively. And then I think he backs it up with an AP push, right? Just go for... This is 3 archers. Hold the phone, my friend. Is he actually not playing hunts? I mean, you have to make 1 or 2 archers at least to start this creep camp. You don't want to creep it with just the Ancient of War. It takes too long. And you have the time anyways. There is a Hunter's Hall coming up in the back. Okay.
It's just gonna be harass as like kind of how he played the Keeper of the Grove, but with a Panda and more creeping. Gets the potion of healing here. Infi with an invul potion, not rushing up to level 3 and also not going to his natural to like luring out the rock golem isn't possible anymore because Blizzard changed the creep spots there. So
forces are under attack.
in the latest edition of this map, this was one of the 100% guaranteed expansion maps for Human. With those changes, not anymore.
Yeah, and this is something that I almost forgot. Like, this patch is very young. It's not even 1 month old. Like, we have not discovered it yet. We haven't unfolded it just yet. 1.31 brought many changes, and viewers and players are still learning about what exactly those mean for the several matchups. The Panda, we can say that much for certain already, has, of course, been... has become stronger, has been buffed with Drunken Haze, damage over time increased once again. In 1.30, it seemed like the Panda was basically completely gone. We saw him sometimes, but only very rarely. But nowadays, we see him a little bit more again.
Sweet deny by Infi here. He knows, of course, it's about getting level 3 for the Panda as well, for the Drunken Haze Breath of Fire combo that we know for so many years. And yeah, Water Elementals give a lot of experience, so getting the last hit is quite nice. So Infi, what are you getting? Boots of Speed to get out of there.
I like that.
Not waking up the creeps to get him slowed or anything.
Boots are the best item in the game. The first time of many I'm going to be saying this in this tournament. Oh, the surround on the Panda. This was a deny pick on the Boots, by the way. Doesn't want to give him to the Panda, doesn't want to make it too easy for him to get the Breath of Fire in. Yes, it's going to be nice for the MK later as well, but I think it was specifically against the Panda first here. And now already forced into the TP.
What was OC doing at the expansion? Did he just blindly assume Infi would expand because it's Infi and an I?
Perhaps. But he must have checked his inventory at one point, right?
Yeah, should have.
Yeah, that was a TP wasted, I suppose.
Item stolen though, experience as well, right? So denying level 3 for now. Can Infi get the revenge? Not 100% sure.
Aim very close to level 3, not deciding to creep just yet. Militia could be creeping the green camp by themselves, but that would result in damage on the Militia, which is not really something you want to have against the Panda and against the Drunken Haze Breath of Fire. Look at the one red dot in the minimap, bottom left. He's checking for APs. He's looking for Ancient Protectors coming out outside the base. This Panda plus Huntress play has a severe expiration date.
Infi with the Blood Mage. Nice counter to the Panda and Brewmaster, of course, and OC returning the favor here with the surround on the Archmage, forcing him into the Invul Potion. Area of Effect intensifying, trades the Footman against Nudge, and this time the Wisps are here, and he's killing 2 Footmen of Infi with this.
AM almost level 3, only 1 kill away. Same for the Panda, though. But there's still no APs coming up, but the Wisps are moving out now, and Infi sees it early. Learns about it very quickly.
The Blood Mage will be ready in time for this defense.
What's he gonna skill?
Could be Flame Strike, right?
Are under attack.
I think it's Siphon.
Yeah, Siphon, of
Against
course.
the Panda also really good.
Yeah, I mean, Siphon is the normal build,
Yeah.
but then you can throw in a Flame Strike here and there if you're up against towers and just mass. But you need level 3. This is so important for OC. Investing the Breath of Fire. Okay, gets it there. Another Archer dead. Can he throw in another breath? He has the mana. Oh, Siphon now. Well done by Infi. Walking out. Detonate from the Wisp. And they're almost all gone. Yes, he brought a lot. And if that was supposed to be an AP push, it's not that good that he lost 3 out of 4.
Can bring in more, though, from the main. And this is still kind of scary. This is 45 supply Huntresses. This is their strong point. They're, what is it, 6, 7 Huntresses now. Perhaps they have some upgrades as well. And we don't have the critical mass of rifles just yet. Yes, AM is level 3, but not infinite mana either. The one Wisp makes it across.
Right.
And will be starting the APs.
He still has an Ankh, he still has the big potion. The Panda should be safe, he also has good mana because he stays out of range of the Blood Mage. Archmage is separated from the rest of the army. Wisp, another one had to be detonated.
Oh, he's got the mortar team already.
Yep, he's so well prepared.
Oh, that's not good for OC. It is not what you want to see when the Hunters are just starting the siege. I love how Infi is playing so aggressively with the AM. Realizing there's no entangle, there's no acid bomb, there's not really much he has to fear at all. Intercepting these Wisps, and dude, he's spreading him so thin. Couldn't protect the AP, AP cancelled. This is mass Huntresses, and only a few footies have died so far. All rifles are still alive.
Yeah, Infi is so good at what the Chinese call like two-screen play, attacking at several spots on the map. Like he had this Archmage on the back of the Night Elf army, he had the Blood Mage and the rifles, and of course the mortars on the bottom left-hand side of OC's army, and he was like trapped between there. He wasn't really sure what to focus. Should I go for the Archmage who has boots and can run away? Should I go for the rifles and Blood Mage who can dive into that base? Oh, the Panda has to go for the potion. Item is the flute, which is nice for the Huns, but he's losing more.
He lost 200s there, and not just that, he also took a lot of damage from the poison creep, and he didn't get the heal scroll, which is perhaps the biggest deal. That's gonna go to the AM now. He picks it up, and with that, even a gyrocopter out.
Yeah, for a reveal is good to kill the hunters before they can hide in the shadows. But yeah, everything is down to 50%. Blood Mage gets to level 2. As he pointed out, Infi has the heal scroll against the Panda's AoE. He is so prepared for everything. He can just push now, I guess. Depends on how much moon juice there is.
Yeah, and with more teams, that's always scary. The siege damage against the fortified buildings works wonderfully. And if it comes to a range siege versus range siege battle, meaning mortars versus glaive throwers, this one gyro for vision behind a tree line is actually really cool as well.
And here we had the first flame strike. This is gonna be, yeah, it's a cool build. It's not the most normal build we ever see, but it makes so much sense for Infi to do that. OC, is this his last stand now at 50 supply with the first attack upgrade as well? We saw it in the bottom right, but Infi actually has the same upgrade already.
Yeah, once again, we find ourselves in a tier 1 versus tier 2 army situation, which is never good for the tier 1 guy. And now we even have tier 3 for Infi. He's got such a big lead in this game. He can almost play anything, and at least for a while, not have anything to fear.
The Panda got a Tome of Retraining and used it.
Did he go for the Brawler earlier on, and now he wants to have the Drunken Haze?
It's the thing that makes sense, right?
Yeah.
Not too sure.
Very unusual. Creeping up his own natural now is OC. Is it once again plan B expo time? It might be. Doesn't seem like this Huntress force can pressure an advantage here at all anymore. Panda at least is gonna get level 4. Solo Panda here now gets a lot of experience. If he gets level 5, if he gets level 6, maybe this can still be doable.
Especially in the absence of breakers. Like there's no anti-air. Of course there's Siphon to burn its mana, but there's no feedback damage. There's no magic immune unit. So the Panda has an easy game later to reach the vulnerable targets. Priests, riflemen to a degree, mortar teams. But will he get to that level? Infi most likely says no. Diving into the base has quite some
goes for the Tree of Ages right
footman
away.
here to work with. And yeah, with the siege units, he can do
Oh,
that.
the
And
Flame Strike!
Gets the repair off, and OC is most likely losing his main here. Wisps are coming in for the repair, but OC has to respond. He has no town portal anymore. He lost that earlier at the surround of the tavern, and he's uprooting, but too late. And the main build is gone, and there's no income for the American anymore.
OC stuck on 49 and won't be getting much more anymore. He's got the gold, in theory, necessary for another Tree of Life, but yeah, this is a fatal blow.
Okay, one last fight here. Drunken Haze, Breath of Fire, but there is a Blood Mage in the middle of everything. Even a Zeppelin. Like, Infi is so prepared for what's to come. He's getting some damage, but walks straight into that Flame Strike. Panda is low, still having the Ankh, but no, that's not what you want. Siphon, he's dry now, and with that, basically just a big footman.
There's two more Flame Strikes ready. We have some Flare here for Vision as well. What's the tier 3 coming in? Must be Frag Shards, outstanding upgrade, perhaps a third hero. Again, Infi can kind of play anything right now.
Ooh, that was close with the Flame Strike. Could have killed the 200s there, but OC moving it out of the animation range. So this was not OC's death. Oh, Tinker third.
I thought Alchemist perhaps would have made a lot of sense with the heal spray.
I kind of like the mini stun of the Swarm Rockets in combination with the Flame Strike.
Oh, that could be cool.
And maybe even Blizzard on top. Like this mini stun prevents the micro.
Yeah.
or the sidestep of the units. Oh, that would be cool to see.
Flame Strike entirely dodged right there. But there's going to be more where that one came from. And here come the frag shots, which increases the damage tremendously.
Here we go, Swarm Rockets and Siphon on top. No Flame Strike here just yet, but the Blood Mage is quite low on mana. We'll see chasing him here now, but that's not too easy fighting against these rockets. You can basically just spam these rockets, and now there's the AoE that he was looking for. These Huntress are just melting. And this will just continue. Oh boy, this is hard to watch.
He's playing very nicely with the cooldowns, making use of his spells, of his superior micro potential, and that's the GG well played. And the 2-0 for Infi here, who wasn't really sweating. OC, not much of a chance in his first match.
The first Rogue Warrior takes the series, stands in the winner bracket final, and is just one more series away from the top 8. OC played nice, well, no mistakes, big mistakes that the Chinese community could make fun of, as we had last year with some European players.
Yep.
Just solid, it just wasn't enough. Infi is, of course, on a different level of Warcraft 3, way more experienced, like the S tier of Warcraft, while OC is just dipping his toe into the professional scene with a tournament like this. There's no shame in playing a match like this against Infi, so shout out to OC, but yeah, Infi, the favorite, simply prevailing here.
Yeah, I guess there's a reason why Lawlight and Moon don't play these Huntress pressure builds on one base. They're cheese. They are not viable on the highest levels. The best humans just will simply not fall to them, and here we saw a great display of how that is, why that is. Infi just way too solid. Won't be foolishly falling to anything like that.
True. And that should also be a lesson to maybe Lawlight if he faces him in the winner bracket. He will play 1-2-0 next to determine Infi's opponent, and of course OC's opponent, as well as the loser will go against the American in the lower semifinals. But yeah, that's gonna be on a way more even level. It's two newbie brothers playing against each other. They practice a lot together, and yeah, they know each other inside out by now, being clanmates and sharing tactics and replays and everything. This is gonna be great.
Yeah, so we have some very polarizing games here as our first two. Obviously, the first one was a bit of an outmatch. But if we have to pick a favorite now, who would we even go with? We could ask the Warcraft 3 info ELO rating. Who do you think has the lead right now?
Lawlight, but closely.
Lawlight is number 7 in the ELO rating of Warcraft 3 info at the moment, and 1-0 is 8th. So yeah, Lawlight just a little bit ahead there.
It's like 7 ELO points difference or something. That's pretty crazy. Yeah, or 6, close. I think it's 6.
1-0, of course, earlier this year had a great success in the Yule Cup, getting the first place there. But it's been a while. That it's been a few months now. Lawlight, his big performance, his big run was in the H&W, making to the final, 2nd place against Moon. But still no title for him. We were really excited. Of course, we've known Lawlight for so many years, such a likable guy. It felt like perhaps this might be his first big title finally, but it was not to be.
Okay, here comes the winner interview with Snowkiss and Infi. Of course, it's going to be in Chinese, so we don't understand too much. But yeah, the fans are appreciative of what Infi did. We see him. I mean, this totally was to be expected. I mean, what were the odds? 1-25 or something for OC. But yeah, just very, very solid, and no joking. I mean, in the end, with a Tinker, okay, like he fed OC a little to have a little bit of fun in the end, but no Night Elf or anything, no Orc, no Undead. That was cool. Glad to see he takes it seriously. As he should. I
even thought the cluster rockets were pretty good. As you said, like the combo potential is really good. Like when the flame strike starts appearing on the ground, it has this visual cue first, and then you want to micro out, but then boom, cluster rockets hit. That's actually pretty sweet. And what's the duration on cluster rocket stun? It's
like nothing. It's a little like mini stun.
It's at least a second.
Yeah, well, it's not too much.
Yeah, but 1 second is already big. Like if you have to micro out of position 1 second, it might even be more. Might be like 1.5. But I'm not entirely sure. I hope you guys can forgive me for that. Tinker is still a hero that we don't see that much anymore. With Cluster Rockets, I guess, a little bit more. But yeah, our next game, guys. Lawlight versus 120. The second match here, the second upper bracket, first round match. The newbie players facing off against each other. The third of the 3 players from newbie, Lin, is in Group D, who we're going to be seeing tomorrow, by the way. Tomorrow's going to be time for Group C and D. Lin versus Happy. That's going to be a match as well. One hell of a match. You guys remember the Warcraft 3 Invitational at Blizzard? Oh my god. That was the crowning moment of that entire event.
That tower on Terrana stand in the upper left. Oh boy, did Matt Morris fix that quick after this game. Shout out to that, of course. We are going into a